So, hello everybody. Been a while. And so I wanted to just share some quick things that I read recently that were immediately helpful for my mind. And I always like to, if I ever find out any pride in my mind, I like to just get rid of it right away. And so actually we were talking the other day and it was so funny. You were saying, "Oh, do you have a PhD?" And I really felt this thing come up. Like, no, I don't. I didn't say that. But I realized in the last years, the thought has come to my mind, gee, I wish I had a PhD. Because I've realized that so many people I know now have PhDs, and I never wanted one when I was in school. I never wanted one. I just thought, I do not want to learn more and more about less and less. And I was very happy. I had a lot of college, and I was very happy. I followed my interests, and I loved what I did. And I realized after that conversation, this was all my pride. Because the only reason I wanted one is because of the status. I didn't even ever want one. But, you know, it was funny.
You look like a professor.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good, I guess. I don't know. They say it's in the eye of the beholder. So anyway, but I have these other experiences around pride, and I don't really identify them as pride. So I read this recently, this one little quote, and I was like, really? That's nice to know. Let me see if I can exactly find it. Okay. I'm missing my page, that's why. Okay. So, it's just one sentence, so it makes it hard to find. Oh, I'm still on the wrong. There we go. Okay. It's just one sentence, but it immediately was helpful. I'm just reading this introduction to this book by on the Bodhicharyavatara by Geshe Yeshe Tupten, who was one of our Venerable Abbess's teachers, and so somebody I always aspired to learn from. And he says here, he's talking kind of about mind training things and how if we're just sitting quietly and somebody comes by and we're all peaceful, but they say some little disturbing thing, how easily our mind gets upset. And then he goes on and says, or if we think of ourselves as important but others don't pay attention to us, we feel wounded because of our pride. Like, yeah, that's it. And I was trying to think through, like, because I had never had kind of put those experiences together, like, of any feeling of woundedness, of like, or wanting someone to, wanting maybe some kind of recognition or whatever. No, I don't think of it usually as recognition. I kind of think of it sometimes as just, hey, I'm here. Kind of, could you notice? You don't have to notice even what I'm doing, just that I'm here. And so, anyway, when that feeling comes up inside, I never associated that with pride. But then now whenever I think of pride, I think of some of the conversations I've had with Zopa about this, and her kind of looking inside, and Venerable Children giving her advice on it, and this thing of feeling special. So of course, if you think you're special, you have to be treated specially. And so that is a pride thing in the sense of, what is so special, and I don't know, I found this so immediately helpful. I just thought I wanted to share that because, these things, sometimes you can dispel them easy. And so if you have just that right recognition, I found that quite helpful. And then there was another one in here that I also recognize in my experience, although I never had used the word envy before. I kind of thought sometimes I just would like to have the situation other people have, but I'd never used the label envy to it before. And so, but I recognize sometimes, when I'm just working away and I'm hearing conversations or whatever, I can, because we have the space here to kind of reflect, I'm aware of my internal dialogue and what's going on, whether I say anything or not. And I recognize, oh, that's the mind of envy. And then he says, when it comes to envy, we should investigate why we create it in the first place. A particular person has what we wish to possess. And even that right there I found helpful because, like, you know, like, do I really need to possess this thing? Isn't it nice they have that thing? And, you know, but I don't think of it that way. What's happening in me is there's just the experience, and unless I stop and analyze it, I just kind of sit there with this kind of a dissatisfied feeling, and usually I try to just kind of push it aside and on to the next thing or whatever. So taking the time to think about it, and he says, if we think, however, that it is right for others to have what we desire, envy will disappear, and we will preserve our peace of mind. So that's what I think to do now in those situations is, and I found this very helpful with other verses from Nagarjuna on these kind of things, is stop, apply the antidote that really makes sense to my mind, because I can think it through, like, wow, isn't it wonderful that this person is having this situation, and, you know, try to rejoice in their situation. And it just, you know, these things aren't very strong, you know, I'm sure they are sometimes, but for me right now these things aren't very strong. They just sort of kind of like pop up like little, you know, small irritations or small experiences. And so for me sometimes that's the easiest ones to work with, because I can see them, I can think clearly still. They're not like zapping my emotional or energy or my ability to think. And so I find these things when they're small like this and I see something that kind of really works, is I like to analyze those and learn how to apply the antidotes in small little situations, and then really get a better understanding of how I'm working inside, so I kind of can do preventative medicine. Good wishes to everyone and their mind training.